Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Legend of Zelda Link build guide for in Baldur's Gate 3. So I'm a big fan of Legend of Zelda. These are some of the games that I played growing up. Now this is the best job I could do as Link. I think that Link is a fighter. Now Ranger kind of makes sense somewhat, but I'm going to go with a fighter here because Link is kind of like, this is going to be the Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild Link. So those Legend of Zelda games. We're going to start off with a fighter. Now, there's a couple ways we can go about doing this. Defense is always a nice fighting style to go. Just the increased one armor class is always nice. But also archery has some usefulness too, because Link does use archery alongside his fighting. But we can also go with the protection or the dueling. So dueling works when we have a shield in our offhand. This adds 2 damage to the weapon. Now, we're going to be using, obviously, shield and sword here. That's kind of the way that Link goes about it. I'm going to go with defense, though. +1 armor class is always extremely useful, but you can go with archery or dueling, depending on what you typically go with more often in combat. Now, for our ability scores, this is where it can get kind of interesting. We want to have Constitution at least 16. The more health we have, the better, since we're going to get more of those heart containers. Now, I think that Dexterity is going to be our main stat here, because Link is, you know, it's going to be, he's more so focused on, he is strong, we'll give him that, but Link is also very dexterous, so we're going to go with that. We can take our Wisdom down. If you have the Triforce of Wisdom, it makes sense to have that kind of high, but maybe we'll put it at 11 just as a nod to that. So something like this can work well. You can go with a little bit higher strength. Like that's definitely something that we can go with, and then take maybe Wisdom to 10 just for the role playing. So something along the lines of that works pretty good. Or you can alternatively take like something like this. I think it's best to have our dexterity as high as we can possibly get it though, so we'll go with this for our ability scores. And this is an interesting build because Link is a you can see there, you got a shield on. I'll go over the gear options at the end here to show you some of the best options. But honestly, any type of longsword you can get will work good for Link. Action Surge at level 2 is great. This gives you another action, which just gives us a lot of burst damage. For our subclass, I think that Battle Master just makes sense here. Champion's good for the increased critical hit chance, but critical attacks aren't a big focus of Legend of Zelda. Being able to do different battle maneuvers kind of is. So if you remember in Twilight Princess, there's all those different battle maneuvers that you learn from the wolf. So that's my rationale here. And Riposte kind of makes sense too, because whenever you get a parry off in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, you can do somewhat of a Riposte attack. Now, I think that something along the lines of this is tricky. I think disarming attack is pretty good because you can disarm enemies in Tears of the Kingdom. Disarming attack's pretty underrated. A lot of people say it's like not amazing, but you can deal an additional 1d8 damage, and alongside that, it possibly forces the target to drop their weapon. When they drop their weapon, you can have someone pick it up, and then they're basically useless because that's their main attack right there. And I think Commander Strike is pretty nice too. Direct an ally to strike a foe. This ally uses a reaction on their next turn to make a weapon attack. Just a good one to have, and I think it kind of fits along the lines of Link being the like, if you think about the lore of Legend of Zelda, especially the Tears of the Kingdom Link, he's kind of like a frontline commander, so that makes perfect sense here. As far as our feat goes, we do get a lot of feats here, and this is where things can get really interesting for this build. There's gear that can help take our dexterity up higher. There's gear that can take our constitution up higher. So this can go multiple different ways. For my first level up, I'm going to take the dexterity up to 20. Now, if we have the hags here, that's another +1 there, and this will increase our armor class even further. So high dexterity. If this is for non, I would recommend going maybe down taking something at 16, but we're gonna go with that, assuming we have the hags here for dexterity. At level 5, we get extra attack. This is a huge boost in the game because extra attack just means more damage overall. At level 6, we get another feat. So this is really great because we get lots of feats here. Now, we can go with something like Strength Potions if you want to just have maxed out Strength, but we can also just use an ability score improvement there. I think Alert is fantastic and should be on pretty much any of your classes that can have a feat for it, because a +5 to Initiative and Can't Be Surprised can save your entire team sometimes, especially if it's on a fighter. Now, Athlete also kind of just makes sense. Increases strength and dexterity +1. When you're prone, standing up uses significantly less movement, and your jump distance also increases 50%. I might actually go with this here. If you have the hags here on dexterity to take it to 20, I would go ability improvement plus strength. But for this one, I'm just going to, since I didn't have the hags here, we're just going to take dexterity up. And that's a pretty solid option there. We get another 2 battle maneuvers here. So precision attacks, spend a superiority dice to add it, result to an attack roll. This just means you're flat out going to be hitting your attacks more frequently, which is really nice. I think Rally is another good one. Temporary hit points. Sweep attack is just the classic charged attack from Legend of Zelda, so I actually think that this should fit perfectly on here, but you can take out precision and go Rally if you want. Just trying to make this lore accurate as well as a strong build. And then we get another feat at level 8. So there are some options you can go with down the line, but mobile, your movement speed increases, and difficult terrain doesn't slow you down when you dash. And if you move after making a melee strike, you don't provoke opportunity attacks, which is kind of nice just for moving around the battlefield. I think that an ability improvement is probably the best option here. Alert is also another great choice, but we can take the strength up to 16 that way and have that all rounded off nicely. Now, if you want, there's ways you can dump your stats later on in the game, so you can drop your Constitution, use the Constitution Amulet, or you can drop Strength and use Strength Potions, but that's a whole other topic. It's up to you and how you want to spread out the points. You get Indomitable at level 9 when you make when you fail a saving throw. You can roll again using the new roll result instead, which is huge for just avoiding spells. And then we get our size of superior die increases to 1d10, so all of our maneuvers will be now dealing that 1d10 instead of like a 1d8, which is great. And then we get a few other ones. I really like trip attack, spend a superiority die, possibly knocks a creature prone. Creature must be large or smaller. And fainting attack can be okay. Attacks with an advantage, which is nice, but use your bonus action. So that's, I guess, up to you if you want to go about that way. Menacing attack is also a really nice option too. So Frighten can really reduce the amount of damage your whole team takes if you take an enemy out. I might go Rally and trip attack just for the, just I think it works best here in the fighter. At level 11, this is what we really wanted to go all the way in on the fighter. I was thinking about adding in the ranger earlier, but we're going to go to level 10 here just to get that. And then I do have some items that make this, like you got the Ultra Hand, and that's also why I went with these gloves here. They kind of look like Ultra Hand. If you want to take another feat, you can take Strength up to 18 or take Alert. I'm just going to add in the Cleric because I think that just this fits Link's theme here. So Guidance, Resistance, and Sacred Flame for our attacks. You can also go with like a Produce Flame because there is a lot of fire attacks like the lanterns and stuff in Legend of Zelda, but I think that this works well. We're the Hero of Light. So I think that the best option to go with is actually the War Domain. This gives us Shield of Faith, plus 2 to armor class. We don't have a lot of concentration, so just being able to have that is nice. And then we got Divine Favor here for just additional radiant damage because we're using the Master Sword. I tried to find a sword that fit the Master Sword, but it was kind of hard to find one. We'll go with like Tier. This is just for your own personal role-playing, whatever you think is best for that. And then for prepared spells, since we have not the greatest wisdom, Create Water is actually really great if you have a team that uses that, but you wouldn't really want to be spending too many of your spells using that. Sanctuary can be good. You and your target can't be hit or attacked by a creature. Command is another nice one. You can kind of think of this as like the Ultra Hand abilities. Bless is great too. Healing Word if you didn't take Rally, because this can be used to bring up down to allies. Guiding Bolt can give you I wouldn't recommend doing that, but Command can be okay, but you're not likely to hit it often. So Sanctuary is probably one of the best here, because Command we're using our 10 Wisdom, which is not amazing. Create Water I think just has the most usefulness overall, so we can go with that or Sanctuary. Or even just Bless. Bless is fantastic too, actually, for a concentration. Not a bad one. +3 plus the attack roll, so either that or Sanctuary. It's up to you. And I'm going to get into this build here in the gear. So I don't have an amazing Master Sword. I just have the Falar Aluve here, which is pretty good. But we got a 29 armor class. That is great. Like, very defensive build overall. So we're using the Armor of Agility here. Add your full dexterity modifier to your armor class. This will give us even more defense than the Armor of Persistence there. 20 armor class. And it gives us around the same as the Helldusk. But I would rather not use the Helldusk and give that to someone else if we can make use of the dexterity. Armor of Agility. Helm of Baldur +1 armor class. I guess we can go even further with our armor class and take it up to 30 this way. Cloak of Protection +2 to armor, or +1 armor class. Gives us that blue look that Link has. Armor of Agility, I'm using the Boreal Blue dye on both this and the cloak. I also have the Hell Dust gloves on there, trying to give that Ultra Hand look, but this adds fire damage and possibly necrotic damage. It's just a really great option. Evasive Shoes that give 1+1 armor class. Now, you can really use any long sword or any type of sword. I would recommend one that's going to scale off of your dexterity if possible, but at the same time, if you want to go with a the Foul Arrow View, the reason I went with this is it's a finesse weapon, so it's a long sword, but it does use our dexterity as well if we want to. So it's 8 to 20 damage, but if you wanted to pop a strength potion, that can also be a really good option that just completely buffs up this build. But that's again, if you want to use that to just min-max to the highest degree, because then we get that 11 to 23 damage from the +8 strength modifier. Finesse weapons can use your strength or dexterity, so it's really nice. Viconia's Walking Fortress is just a nice shield to give us the +3 armor class, but you can go with really any type of shield. I'm using the Tressum Collar, so telekinesis in my headcanon is like using Ultra Hand. So throw a creature or object with your mind. I don't recommend using that often, but it can be an option. I just thought that it would fit here well. I like the Constitution Amulet myself, when you can just dump your Constitution and put the rest of the points into Strength. Killer Sweetheart, next attack roll will be a critical hit, and then Ring of Protection +1 armor class is always nice. So yeah, this build is pretty strong because the fighter is a strong class. That's just no other way to put it. The fighter is a very good class in Baldur's Gate 3. Having all these different battle maneuvers is nice, and the ability to just deal flat out damage and have a 30 armor class is incredible. So there it is. That is the Link build guide from Legend of Zelda in Baldur's Gate 3. If you found this video fun or useful, please hit that subscribe button below. Really appreciate any and all support, and I'll see you all in the next video.